Hi guys, continuing on from yesterday. Today it's the power of forgiveness, forgiving yourself. Why yourself? Without really forgiving yourself, you can't move into a space of love. Like I shared my quote with you from my book, Beyond the Pain. You cannot love if you cannot forgive. And forgiveness is really for you. So today we're diving into understanding why you need to forgive yourself in order to become free, in order to move into a space of love, in order to release the pain so that you can receive your healing and you can really begin to evolve into a higher level of self now that you're gaining the conscious awakening and awareness of who you are. So forgiveness starts with you, and if you don't forgive yourself, you can't really love anyone, not in this world. Like I shared with you yesterday, my quote from Beyond the Pain: you cannot love if you cannot forgive. And allowing yourself to forgive is also releasing the pain and letting go of everything that's no longer serving you but destroying you within. And you don't need to be the source of depletion for yourself. You need to be the source of elevation for yourself. And knowing yourself is key to being able to move on and unburden everything that you're holding on to in a space of unforgiveness. Usually, we don't think about forgiveness for ourselves when we experience anger emotions or resentment emotions or bitterness emotions, and those emotions are valid. But they're also teachers. Sorry, I have a bit of a cold. They're also teachers that come into our lives to help us understand those things that we may not have understood in the past, buried emotional wounds and pain from childhood that may be lingering on into our adulthood and allowing us to begin to self-loathe and self-hate. So today it's looking at it and taking an example. You imagine you've been hurt as a child and you did not know how to express yourself, but you go within, and every time you get dinged, your esteem gets dinged by words, by other people's actions, you just shut down. And later on, as an adult, you get triggered with words from a friend, from a partner, and you start to really loathe the other person without understanding that you're not really loathing the other person. You're not really angry about the other person. You're getting triggered to be awakened to the buried emotions that are making you self-loathe. Let me say that again, because I really want you to understand that part. Every time you get triggered with a negative emotion, it's actually an awakening for you to go within and examine that emotion and what is teaching you about yourself, then self-loathing and projecting. What we tend to do is when we get triggered, we project our pain on the other person. Pain always wants to dump on other people. Pain always attracts pain. They come into our lives with pain and they cause us to be triggered, and then we project whatever it is that we're that's going on within on them without really realizing it's not helping us heal and move forward. I've shared this a lot with some of my coaching clients who initially it took them a while to understand it. I've also had to deal with this in my personal life 13 years ago before I started coaching. And one of the things that you'd have to understand is it's not something you're familiar with. So you have to be patient with yourself, because if it's been from childhood, your body has been keeping a score. So the first thing you're going to do when you're triggered is to become jittery. Your nerves just rise up to fight in a defensive mode. Your ego rises up to fight in a defensive mode. But you really have to learn to start calming yourself down and committing to looking at every situation. From the exercise yesterday, writing out those events, start to look at each event, and then you look at each event as, what is this helping me uncover in my own space? Because if I'm not uncovering what the emotion is, and if I don't understand that emotion, then how can I heal from it? How can I stop self-sabotaging? How can I stop self-hate self-hating? How can I stop self-loathing? How can I stop projection? Those are the things that you would have to think about. And as you begin to look at each event that, causes you to be triggered and angry and bitter and resentful, instead of projecting, ask yourself, the lessons I'm learning from this, how was I putting myself in a place where people were speaking death to me? How was I allowing myself to accept what was creating death in my life? How was I allowing myself to tolerate some of these things that are now leaving me lost in my own world? And as you ask yourself the question, you are the only person who has the answer. As a coach, I can only guide you like I'm doing now to really start to uncover. And once you uncover, then you look at it, why am I self-hating about myself? Then learning. Usually when we get these emotions, we are not looking to examine them. We're looking to discard them because we don't really know what they're about. We're not familiar with the emotions. We're not familiar with this thing. So fear comes in, and the first thing we do is take these emotions and shove them underneath the rug. Like, I can't deal with this. I can't process this. I can't handle this. And so it goes underneath the rug, and then it begins to ooze out when people utter words that now result in triggers. And that leads to all self-loathing and projecting the pain on other people than really looking. And it takes a lot to really start to sit with your emotions to understand them, knowing that your emotions are valid. It's lack of our emotions and lack of knowledge of what our emotions are teaching us that lead us to just shut down. And it's us going in flight mode or freeze mode or fight mode. And those modes actually keep a score in our nervous system and don't help us heal. So today I want you to begin to look at every time you are triggered with anger, with resentment, with loathing, or you see other people that may be where you are and you start to say, who the heck does this person think they are? And what power do they think they have to speak to me like that? I want you to know that that's self-loathing. That's anger from within. That's your emotional wound speaking on your behalf. And you have to take a pause and ask for help. Because if you're not understanding the emotion, then you will need somebody to guide you to help you understand the emotion. So you're not locked up in creating a world of hurt for yourself, because no one can hurt you except you give them the power to do so. You are the CEO. You hold the power to your own healing and to your own pain. And we initially create pain for ourselves. Let me say that again, because I really want you to understand this. It took me a while to understand it during my healing. It takes some of my clients to it takes a while for some of my clients to understand it. Some of them even fight me like, no. But it's really sitting down and committing to your own healing for you to be able to understand this. No one has the power to hurt you except you choose to hurt you, to accept the hurt as your only option. No one has the power to come into your life to inflict pain on you except you are accepting the pain due to lack of understanding of who you are and your emotions. And so, and don't take this as bad, take this as a lesson, because it's an eye-opener when you begin to really understand it. And it allows you to start to see why you need to forgive yourself more. And the more you forgive yourself, the easier it becomes for you to start looking at situations in life and saying, what was I accepting? What was I allowing? And not using pacifiers like drinking or shopping or eating to console yourself, to comfort yourself. Comfort is good, but when you're running away from your emotions, comfort also leaves you with acquiring things that affect your physical and mental and emotional health. And you don't want to go that route. You want to go in a way where you're really healing yourself first. So number one thing to do when you're looking at forgiving yourself is to understand what these emotions are when you get triggered. What is this emotion teaching you about yourself? What awakening are you gaining? Because we don't really know who we are. We discover who we are as we go on life's journey. And it takes a lifetime to really discover yourself, to some point where you are not really understanding yourself. And when you understand yourself, you understand how to build better relationship with other people. You understand the people that you need in your life to help you fulfill your life's vision and purpose, than just bringing everybody in and trashing. Because you don't open your door to strangers, and you don't need to open your life to everybody. Just like people knock on your door and you say, hey, I don't know you, I'm not opening the door. The same way you need to guard your heart and guide your life, so that you're not opening your life up to people and accepting pain as your only option without really understanding your emotions, and then getting triggered in a way where you're becoming unforgiving to yourself and not knowing why you're holding on to these negative emotions that continue to help you live in a space of unforgiveness. Forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness is to liberate you. Forgiveness is to help you gain a good understanding of yourself and begin to heal yourself. And as you begin to heal yourself, you build better, you know better, you understand you better, and then you know those that you need in your circle of life to help you continue to grow and evolve while you're still living and breathing. So like I said, number one, when you get triggered, look within and say, what is this teaching me about myself? And what is this teaching me about what I'm accepting? And what is this teaching me about what I'm allowing? And if I'm allowing this, then it means that I don't know myself yet, and I need to find myself. And in discovering myself, I'm able to discover the parts of me that I was letting other people take my power away, than me owning my power and owning my life. So I will continue to do this series as long as God gives me breath and life. But today, understand that forgiveness is first for you. You cannot love if you cannot forgive. And loving yourself sets the pace for every relationship that you would have in life. And loving yourself also allows you to know the people that you need in your life, and create a vision and set life goals that will help you continue to forge ahead and move in a space of purpose than in a space of pain. Pain wasn't designed for us. We acquire pain when we don't know ourselves. And knowing yourself is key to forgiving yourself and moving into an atmosphere of love. Y'all take good care. Talk to you soon. God bless. Bye-bye.